What's up, you guys? Welcome back to another video. So in today's video, I want to show you guys the products that I use that are pretty much my go-to when I am going into the office. We are going to start out with brows, which I typically don't do on my channel. But before we do, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, give this video a thumbs up, and leave a comment down below. So for starters, we are going in with the Sephora collection Fluff and Fix Brow Wax. This has definitely become one of my favorites. Today is the last day for the Sephora savings event, so this product will be 30% off, and I believe it is no more than $15. So I don't even think it's that much, but this is a really good, inexpensive eyebrow like waxing product that you guys can check out and look at. For the brow pencil, I am using the Benefit Precisely My Brow Pencil in the shade number 5. So what I will say, disclaimer, my brows have always been uneven. Ever since high school, I tried to arch my eyebrows myself. And that was my first time trying to do it. Didn't know what I was doing. And I literally cut one of my eyebrows off. So I don't know. I got carried away with the razor. It was ridiculous. So ever since then, my brows have never looked the same. I try to let them grow in sometimes to see if they can kind of match. But as you can see, the hairs on this brow that I'm doing right now is a lot thicker than the other one. So later today, when I do my nighttime skincare and I wash my makeup off, I will definitely have to kind of clean up my brows and, get the little brow scissors and shape them up a little bit more, because this brow was giving me a lot of trouble today. It was very annoying, but we shall move on. So typically I clean up my brows with the Nars Soft Matte Concealer in the shade Ginger. I did use the Too Faced Born This Way concealers today. I mixed two shades. It was Sand and Warm Beige, and then I set it down with my One Size pressed powder in the shade Medium 5 Golden. Typically when I'm going into the office as well, I just pop bronzer in the eyeshadow, in the eyelid space. I don't do a full out eyeshadow look, of course. And then going into primer. Sometimes these products alternate. But I typically always like to go in with a pore filling primer in my T-zone and then some type of gripping primer on the perimeter. So I decided to go in with this little combo concoction today. The Milani the Milani primer has actually been a really good one that is affordable. And honestly, this NYX glue primer, it's supposed to be like a gripping tacky primer. I have not used this primer, I don't think, since I reviewed it. So I definitely wanted to go ahead and give it another go. As I'm letting that primer kind of dry down, I did curl the lashes. And then, of course, added that bronzer in that crease. And then I'm just going to use my MAC mascara. I don't know what it's been lately, you guys. I want to say it is my left eye that has constantly been watering. It's been irritated. I don't know if it's allergies. I don't know if something's irritating the eye area. I'm not 100% sure. Sometimes I feel like it does it, or my eye will burn just without me even having on makeup. So I can't even say that it is my makeup. But we are using the Juvia's Place bronzer duo in the shade Medium, and I'm just taking that top shade, which in their bronzer duos, the top shade is always a little bit lighter than the bottom. So I'm just taking that, running it in the crease. Then I will apply the mascara. So again, for mascara, it is the MAC Stack mascara. I feel like it's a nice mascara. I have also been loving using, honestly, I think the MAC Giga Black mascara. That is like the small, skinny, like blue tube. A lot of people love that one for lower lashes. I think that it looks good on my top lashes. But for some reason, I don't feel like I get that much length on the bottom lashes with that one. But it's okay. So I'm just going to apply this mascara. I will curl them again a little bit later once I feel like the mascara has dried down enough. And for the foundation, I guess you could say, honestly, I'm not using a foundation. This product, ever since I purchased it and tried it out, has truly been a go-to everyday wearable product. And it is the NYX Buttermilk Glaze Soft Glow Skin Tint. It does have SPF 30 in there. This is in the shade number 4, Almond Butter. You guys can see how this is definitely a perfect shade match for me. So if you are my foundation twin and have not tried, now as you do see, I do have some texture on the skin. I have a couple bumps on my cheek area, which is very visible. So it doesn't cover it up completely. This does have a nice glow to it, but once we apply powder, you will definitely see that it does take, majority of that glow down. And I just feel like this definitely is a product that looks like skin. It just evens out your complexion. It's not going to cover everything up completely. As I mentioned, it's not going to be like a medium to full coverage or anything like that. It is a true skin tint. But I have truly been enjoying this on an everyday wearable look. Even me going into the office. And this was something that I don't feel like I've seen many people talk about. I'm also one of those people, it's either I'm gonna wear makeup or I'm not. But I do feel like once I start to apply my bronzer, blush, and concealer, I feel like you can make this skin tint look more than what it is. So for cream bronzer, I am going to go in with this Morphe 2 Sun and Done Smooth Gliding Bronzer Stick. I have mine in the shade Caramel Cove. And honestly, you guys, sometimes I will not do cream bronzer. I'll just, after I apply the skin tint, I'll go in with concealer, set the face, and then just do powder bronzer and powder blush. But sometimes I will do a cream bronzer. I don't want to go in with anything that is too harsh. Um, Especially again, we're going into the office. Now, when I am going, I do not do liquid or cream blush. For some reason, I feel like for me, it's just doing a little bit too much, especially for somebody like me. I still have to get up, cook breakfast, get the kids ready and out the door before I go to work. So I want to make sure that I'm not taking up too much time on my makeup. So this is just easier for me. And now at this point, after I do my cream bronzer, I'm going to go in with concealer. So I have two shades from Wet n Wild Mega Last Incognito. This is their all day full coverage concealer, and it claims to be creaseless. I have the shades medium golden and medium honey. So as you can see, one is a little bit lighter than the other. And we're going to set the concealer down with Juvia's Place Vanilla Bean. I will say this. Juvia's Place, a lot of affordable brands are starting to raise the price. I know that a lot of people complained about the Morphe Blush Trio being $19, but honestly, you guys, it's still a good price. Juvia's Place has also went up on their prices because I believe this powder is about $20. However, this is a really nice, like it's, I won't say really big, but it is a nice size packaging. You get a nice amount of product. And the way this Juvia's Place loose powder sets and keeps those oils controlled throughout the day, honestly, it is a really good product, and I definitely recommend, if you have not tried it yet still, that is a powder that I feel like was a good release this year. Did it release this year, or was that, yeah, it was the end of last year, and I think we were waiting for it to hit Ulta this year. So that was a really great introduction for Juvia's Place coming into the new year. But it's a really good powder. And so, like I said, I'm just blending out that concealer. And now we are going to set everywhere that we use the concealer. I'm also going to kind of take this. I don't mind taking the powder around the perimeter of the face as well sometimes, or I'll clean up under the bronzer that we used, because I want to make sure that I don't feel any like tackiness or stickiness from, my liquid or cream products. So we're just pretty much kind of setting the skin. And I'm also going to go back in and use that one size powder as well, just to kind of also set around the perimeter where we did put that cream bronzer stick, and just making sure that is set. Now, I know that I do a lot of double setting. So some people, when they do cream bronzer and blush, they just go right over top of that with the powder bronzer and blush. I like to set that down as well. Um, and maybe it's just me, but I feel like I don't, I'm trying to prevent it from looking as patchy. So I just like to double set, double proof it. But going back in with that Juvia's Place bronzer, we are going to bronze the perimeter of the face. So this is why I do have this bronzer in the shade Tan, which I feel is definitely more for my summertime. You know, it's more of my summertime shade. But this shade in particular gives me a nice warm look without being too harsh, without being, you know, over the top. And I just think that it's still office appropriate. Um, I don't know, you guys. I feel like sometimes I had to find what worked for me, because sometimes I would go into the office and I felt like my makeup was just too much. It was like, ooh, you know, and I don't realize it because I'm so used to doing full coverage that I'm like, okay, you got to find some type of way to tone it down. But this is the One Size Blush Trio in the shade Freaky Peach. And again, I'm just using the powder in this. So for me, I felt like one side did look a little patchy and uneven, but then again, it is the bumps, it is the texture. I have been noticing lately, and it could be because I'm getting older, your hormones and everything change when you're approaching that time of the month. I never used to really break out, but I noticed starting over this past weekend through even like today, my skin is just not doing the best. I changed nothing in my skincare routine. At first, everything was working out, right? But I definitely know that it is, you know, because that time of the month is coming. For a highlighter today, this is the LA Girl Natural Glow Envy Bouncy Highlighter. So it's just a subtle highlighter just to kind of add to the face. I love to always make sure that I do highlighter on the nose and Cupid's bow anyway, but I wanted to kind of apply some on that, you know, outer cheek area. For the setting spray, this is my usual everyday concoction. LA Girl Pro Perfect Oil Control Setting Spray. I go in with that first, and then I go in with the L'Oreal Infallible Transfer Proof Setting Spray. Today, I'm going to try this one from NYX, which is that glue gripping setting spray. I personally didn't like it because it did leave that splotchiness on the perimeter of my face, and I don't typically care for that. So once I let this dry down, I am going to go in with the L'Oreal Infallible one as well. Now for the lip combo, you guys. These are two lip liners that I alternate between throughout the week. MAC in Stone, and this one is the Beauty Crop Lip Cream in Tiramisu. That is the one that I'm going to go in with. Beauty Crop lip liners, you can get them from Beauty Bay. Beauty Crop does have their own website as well, but I don't remember if I've seen the lip liners on the actual website or did I just see them on Beauty Bay. But it is a UK based brand when it comes to the lip liner. And then I used the brand Pink Honey. These are their lip glazes. And when I say concealer lips, this is definitely the vibe that these give. So I have the shade 02, which is Dreamer. That is the lightest shade that I'm going to go in with first. Look at how light and creamy that looks. And then the second shade that I'm going to go in with is Angelic. So Angelic is a tinge bit darker. I went over top with that one because this was just a little too bright. So typically on an everyday, I wear the cool tone lip liner and I wear the shade Angelic, which is shade number 4. I am then going to go ahead and outline the lips again just to kind of bring that back into, you know, bring that look back into the lips. So these Pink Honey lip glazes are also from Beauty Bay. That is where I purchased them. As you can see, my eyes are watering again. But this is the completed look, you guys. This is the look that I go for when I am going into the office. I use a skin tint, but we still look put together. The blush is still showing. Everything is still looking good. And yes, this is what I look like. Again, you can still see that texture, those bumps kind of peeking through. But this is the final look. I hope you all stay safe, be blessed, and I will see you in the next video. Take care. Bye.